Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Lunchline Podcast, the greatest podcast that you have never, ever, ever heard. I am Jay Mitch, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I have a very special, lovely guest with me today. Asante, how you doing?
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for being on. Asante and we became like social media friends, I guess. It's just
absolutely.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it's kind of crazy. So Asante and we connected, I guess, a few years. Was it a couple years ago? I don't know. It feels like it's been forever, right?
I think probably last year.
It just feels so much longer than that. And we just kind of chit-chatted back and forth, man. And just from watching each other's social medias, I found her to be very interesting. And I don't know what she thought, so I can't speak. I can't speak for her as far as me.
Like, no, likewise.
So we just became cool like that, and I decided that I wanted to have her on because I've always liked her perspective on things. It's not a lot of people that I trust. I don't just straight up being honest, but I've always liked her perspective on a lot of things like life and relationships. And we just, we would DM chat different things. And it was always kind of funny to get your perspective on certain topics. And I'm pretty sure it was probably the same for you as well, too. Like, this dude is out of his damn mind, especially when you sent me the red flag thing.
Oh, yes, that was a fun time.
Yeah, so Asante, if you will, Asante is she is a very, very talented individual. She is also a fashionista, and she is a stylist. She has quoted herself your stylist's favorite stylist. If you would like to go, and what's your Instagram? Do you want to call out your Instagram for us? Just to plug your Instagram, are you sure?
Yes, so it is at Asante Shakira on all platforms, and we'll link it somewhere, right?
We will link it. I will link it. I promise I'll link it. She has really good style, like straight up. I wish I could afford her. I can't, but she has really good style. And she also has a clothing line. So tell me, when did you start the clothing line, and when did you start your whole I don't know, like life in fashion? Like, when did you first get started in fashion?
Okay. So got started in fashion. So when I was extremely young, probably about 8, I visited New York City for the first time.
Okay.
And I knew that I wanted to be in fashion from then, which is kind of crazy. But I remember walking past a fashion school, and I'm like, Dad, I want to go there, and I'm like 8, but like, things came to pass. I didn't go to that school specifically, right. But in undergrad, I did study fashion, and here I am.
Okay.
So my clothing line, The Fashion Enthusiast, I started in 2019, and I saw a need for lifestyle clothing that really spoke to me. I found myself going in stores and things, and I didn't find anything that really resonated with me in terms of like the t-shirts, the hoodies, things like that. Like nothing that I would proudly wear and say that like it really spoke to me. Right. So I saw a need and I filled it.
Nice. Well, I mean, you know what though? I've never been to New York. I don't know if I've shared that with you, right? Have I told you that? I've been to New York. I've never been to New York.
You have. I think you mentioned that.
It's kind of embarrassing though. It's kind of embarrassing. It's like extremely embarrassing. They like, you've been to New York? Like, that's kind of like saying I've never been to, I just went to Cedar Point like 2 years ago, and I'm from Ohio. So if that it's that embarrassing.
Whenever you make your way, let me know.
I don't know though. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't know. Because I heard about y'all gotta have the vax cards, you know what I'm saying? Unless I can get a few fake ones, unless you know some people that you can plug.
Listen, I'm gonna need one too. Because we in the same boat.
How are you navigate? Is it the same way where you live? Is it the same as in Jersey?
No, so I'm in Jersey, so it is you don't have to have a vaccination. They're not like checking it. And New York actually just put that into place in September.
Okay.
So yeah, I know some people that are vaccinated, and I know some people that have fake cards because,
Hmm. I
so
need the plug on that. You
okay,
about to
listen,
let me get the plug on that. Shout out to that plug.
I'm this close to getting one.
But you know
But yeah,
what?
there's been, huh?
I just I would assume, like, or from what I can tell, like New York just always seemed like a place that was like extremely like about, freedom and, doing your thing and everybody, you know what I'm saying? So for this to happen in New York, to be a state that's
Hmm.
like completely like anti-Trump from what I can tell, I
Hmm.
would imagine New Yorkers would buck back and like say this is something that they're not going to do, but it seems like, the mayor and everybody just kind of rolled over and just was like, yeah, you got to take it in order to be here, to go or do anything, which is kind of like screwed. It's messed up. It's definitely messed
Yeah, yeah, it was extremely scary, especially when it first happened, because for me, being a border state right here in New Jersey,
up. Hmm.
um, I just knew that a lot of times when New York does something, Jersey quickly follows suit. So I just
Right.
knew it was going to happen here soon, which who's to say it's not?
Right.
But yeah, like there's been some things I've been interested in New York, and I read the fine print and it's like I can't go. All
Right.
right,
Right. I
jazz
know.
concert I couldn't go
That
to. My favorite
sucks.
jazz artist was in New York for like night after night. Couldn't go.
Couldn't
So
go.
sad.
That sucks, man. Like, it would break my heart if Lauren Hill said I'm gonna do a week's worth of concerts in New York and I
Right?
had a vaccine. Like, damn you. No, but what
Yeah.
did I see? I think I seen something the other day when they were talking about something along the lines of like sporting event venues becoming like, I know Madison Square Garden is obviously that, but
Mhm.
if you're a big sports fan and they start talking about the Super Bowl and the NBA finals and how for you to be a fan of anything, like you're going to have to get like jabbed in order to get it, which is like, it's messed up, man. It's messed up.
Mhm.
And I know you've probably heard me talk a lot about it, but as I sit and reflect on it, it's like, man, like, I'm concerned about where our world is going, like, for real. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm deeply concerned because it's such a time of uncertainty, you know what I mean, like more than ever, to where I'm like, it's obviously about money, right? Like,
Mhm.
I see that. I'm pretty sure you see that too, and it's like, how much money do these people need? Like, how, like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, like how much money do these people need to really try to corner American citizens like this? Like, you guys have trillions of dollars. You have access to all the resources that you need. You can damn near go to space whenever you want. Like, it's like, what more do you need? Like,
Yeah.
what more do you need?
Lunch money.
Since we've been talking, we've been talking, we chat in the DMs about stuff, right? But we don't get
Yes.
to have a full conversation about it because it's only so much that you can really say. So
Mhm.
I want to ask you, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I see it all the time, and I really want to get your perspective. Like, what do you think about zodiacs and how it correlates with people? Like, do you think it's bullshit or do you think it's like the real deal? Because Black people are infatuated with zodiacs, and I don't understand it.
Mhm. So first of all, I'm sorry, I need to laugh. You probably gonna have to cut this out, but
Not just let I want you to laugh. I'm
Whew.
not cutting anything out. This is staying exactly how it is.
Oh my
Seriously, like, I need
god.
your perspective because I hear so much about zodiacs, and I'm like, if y'all ask me what my sign is one more time, or y'all sit over here and try to throw me in this category with the rest of these crazy people, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Mhm.
So,
So
what do you think?
I I do okay. So all right, let me think about this. Um, so it's not, I don't think that the zodiacs are end all be all. Like I
Okay.
don't think that what the zodiac says is law.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do find sometimes there are common traits amongst how they are described. Now, when it comes
Okay.
to like the daily readings and things like that, I don't get into all of that. But in terms of, like there are a few um adjective to describe like a Virgo and
Okay.
a Taurus. And I will know some people and those things will be aligned.
But I mean, like, are they just people though? You know what I mean? Like, can you just, isn't it just a person? People's personalities can be very similar. Could it be just like a personality trait? You know what I mean? What's your sign? Let me ask you that.
I am a Virgo.
Mm. But you see what I mean? You see what that does? It's like extremely dismissive when like, what's your sign? Okay. I just, I don't buy into it because I think it's like an over generalization. Like I believe African culture and stuff like that maybe can explain more if you dig into the history. Like I understand that aspect, but I normally just see it people using it as it connects with like relationships, and they say, oh, if you're a Scorpio or you're a Gemini, then that means that you crazy and you don't have feelings. You know what I'm saying? So I just never, when I see it, it's like, delete. Damn it, delete. So what's your since you obviously know a little bit more about zodiacs than I do, what is your compatible zodiac? What's your compatible zodiac?
So I am compatible with Taurus
Really?
and Capricorn.
Look at God lining up. So.
Yes, those
Yo.
are my soulmates, quote unquote.
Okay, gotcha.
But I've dated Taurus who was one of them was emotionally unintelligent, like so lacked emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And so I mean, like, so I'm saying that to say it's not end all be all.
Right.
It's not like you're a Taurus, we got to make this work. Like the stars said, we got to figure this out. So let's figure it out,
Like what newspaper did you read that out of? That ain't really
right.
This is my, if it's already a red flag for me if you a Taurus. So I am a Taurus, but I hear that all the time. Like, oh, you guys are extremely moody, or you bullheaded. I'm like, so what person isn't like moody, or what person isn't bullheaded about the right thing? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody is gonna fight for whatever it is that they believe in or whatever it is that they want. So you just can't, I just wish they just leave me alone with the zodiac stuff. I'm just over the conversation of it. Which this leads me to my next question for you. So the whole like red flag thing has been like a huge topic lately. So as a favor to the listeners at the Lunchline podcast, I need you to do me a favor. Can you give me 2 red flags for you? What are 2 red flags? And I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna say 2 green flags because nobody's talking about green flags. Like, what's a green flag for you?
Okay.
So I need 2 red flags and I need 2 green flags.
Okay. So a red flag for me would be someone's relationship with their family.
Okay.
So whoever their family is, you could say their parents. If you don't have a good relationship with your parents, I'm gonna want to know why. And like, okay. I'm gonna want to know why. And like,
gotcha.
Perhaps it has nothing to do with that individual, but to me, that's kind of like, like if I want to go to the next level with you and the people who are supposed to, I mean, I can't even say supposed to be closest to you, but you don't have a good, let's say you don't treat your mom well. Why would I think you're going to treat me well? Right? Like that, she should be the number one woman in your life until, two become one. Right. So if you don't respect her, I can't really expect you to respect me, type of thing. So that's a red flag.
Ladies, did you hear this? We're gonna put her on payroll. Did you listen? That was heavy. That was a good red flag. So you were right. You're right. Because believe it or not, like we're more like our parents than what we realize. You know what I'm saying? And that stood out when you said that. Like, we are more like our parents than we realize. And how you treat your mama and daddy, they can't treat you no better. And
Right.
this is great for, like, that's like a great red flag for younger people who are trying to get into dating, like 18, 19, 20-year olds, and even for older people. But
Mhm.
how they treat their parents is paramount. It'll say a
Absolutely.
lot. And I ain't trying to drop no bombs on nobody's head, but I wish I would have paid attention to that sign, but I didn't. So,
Listen, I've been there too.
but we not gonna get into all that, because I ain't trying to get no cease and desist orders out here.
Oh
Um,
gosh. Okay. Let's
nah,
move
but straight up,
on.
but like, seriously, like, if you're young and dating and you're listening to this, like, that's very important. Like, how they treat their folks is
It's very telling.
top
It's
tier.
very
It's,
telling.
it's very telling. Very telling.
Mhm.
That's a great red flag. I need one more. Give me another one. That was a damn good red. I didn't expect that. This is why she's here, y'all. This is why she's here. She's extremely intelligent. She doesn't give you just basic answers. So, red flag number one was how you treat your parents, or
Yes.
how you treat the people who raised you. Red
Mhm.
flag number two, what we got?
Okay, let's see. All right. So red flag number 2. Hold on. We might have to edit out some of this me thinking, but
No, just listen. Red flag number two. Go ahead, take your time. If I need
okay.
to, then I will. I'm probably
All right.
not.
All right. Okay, so red flag number 2. I'm trying to think what nonsense have I put myself through with these knuckleheads. Red flag, a red flag.
You can't say where's Jordan's.
Oh gosh, no,
No,
no, no, no.
I'm
No.
just, I'm just
Oh my
messing with it.
gosh.
Like, you can't say he wears Jordans. Like, he got every
No,
pair of
no,
you.
no, no, no. I mean, okay, so this one I feel like it may be kind of redundant, but like if they don't respect your boundaries, whatever that might be.
Okay.
So, for example, if your boundaries are like after a certain time, like it's my time. Like I want to read, I want to do my thing, like that's when I collect my thoughts, but they're like calling you and whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
no, they should respect your boundaries.
Okay, that's a good one. Respecting the boundaries, fella. I'm helping y'all out. I'm trying to help y'all out here, right? It's not that she don't like you. Just give her space to do whatever the hell she needs to do. Like, respect
Yes.
her boundaries. Stop being a damn bugaboo. Um, and that kind of falls in line to where, and that would be kind of like a red flag for me as well too. Like, what do you like to do? You know what I mean? Like, having something that you like to do that you're passionate about. I don't give a goddamn.
Mhm.
I don't care if it's knitting, book reading, collecting bottle caps. Like, it can be anything. Like, you have to have some sort of work that you like to do that's enjoyable to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if not,
Mhm.
it's like that
They're gonna
person
be
that
all
they
up
gonna
your
be all
tab.
up on you, like, why let's do this or let's do that, and you gonna be like, damn, I need a little bit of space to kind of do my thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
that's how you end up getting lost in the other person, like not
yeah.
having the things that you like to do and, revolving your day to day around them.
Right, right. Definitely true. That's a great. So you're giving me two good red flags. Thank you so much. I didn't expect. I knew that was gonna come out of left field. I just want to see you was prepared for it, and you were. So give me a good green flag. What's a green flag? Something that you see um that's just like a trigger for, like, wow, like, this is a great indicator that this person has potential.
Okay, so if they listen to the details. So for example, if I mentioned an actual example. Nah, I won't give an actual example. I'm like, hold on, never mind. I
We
won't give an
listening.
actual.
Listen, y'all, I have tagged her name below. So if you would like to follow her, the spelling is going to be correct. I'm going to tag her in these videos. So feel free. No. Okay. So green flag. Come on. Give me the green
Okay.
flag.
Yeah. Okay. So the green flag is they listen to the details, and how you would determine that is they bring it up at a relevant time, whatever it may be, and then you would be taken back, like, wow, you listened to that, like you listened to what I said about my grandma,
Mhm.
because here you are referencing it again, like, and I kind of just said it in passing, but you were actually like actively listening.
Right.
Thank you for listening. I
Right.
appreciate that.
Okay, so intuitive and listening. Fellas, I'm giving you the roadmap to success here. I'm giving you the roadmap. I'm not saying this necessarily with her, but it may apply to other women in your life as well too. These are the things that are coming. This is from a woman. This isn't just guys discussing it amongst, brothers. We get off in our own little, world, and we tend to think what we believe is gold sometimes. But that's really cool. So being attentive and listening.
Yes.
So give me another green flag. What's another green flag for you?
Okay. Another green flag would be that they're intentional. I think that's the biggest one.
Okay.
But just intentional. And I'm gonna think about how to determine that. Maybe I should change that and say that they are, no, I do want to say intentional, but I just, hold up. We might have to edit
No,
some stuff.
so you're
Sorry.
saying that they're not determined, but they are very certain about what it is that they want and they're going after,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So
Yes.
intentional is a great word, like very intentional. Like you're about what you're about. Gotcha.
Yes. 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 You're intentional. So you are who you, or yeah, your intentions are what you say that they are. And that is
Okay.
showing in your actions. So if whatever your intentions might be, right? Like you're dating with intent. So you're wow, I'm drawing blanks here. But
No,
like,
I got what you're saying. So you have somewhere, you have a purpose with the dating. It's not just like you just trying to stick around for whatever reason.
exactly.
Like you know
Yes.
what you want. I got you, like being focused about it. Okay, I got you. That's a great answer. You're very intentional, and as I really appreciate. I spotted you. I put you on the spot with that one.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate you saying that. So fellas, being intentional, I'm not playing matchmakers or anything here, so don't think I'm trying to like set you up. But if your DMs, I'm sorry, I'm not responsible for what happens with your DMs after this, but it is what
Oh
it
my
is.
goodness.
So here's something else that I want to ask is,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on, and have you used dating sites? Like, what do you think about dating sites?
You gonna take it there, huh?
I'm just asking because, okay, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Can I be honest with you? So I've tried them before,
Mhm.
and I have been on a date or two
Mhm.
from dating sites. It's not necessarily my thing because I'm kind of like a hypocrite with this, right? I'm just being honest. So I have an idea of what to expect from dating sites, which is
Mhm.
probably the wrong approach, but I'm like, it's a reason why we out here, right? Either what did you just get across? Are you getting defensive? Okay.
No, I'm
So
listening. I'm
no,
listening.
so it's like, so when it comes to dating sites, like I got like this weird, like, I don't know. It's like I just believe that dating sites are meant for a certain type of person. And if you're there, then, and this is completely wrong, but it's a stereotype that I've like, just for whatever reason, like put in my mind that, okay, like, man, like if she here and you see the same stuff, you'll see like, 27, 30, no kids, and you like, well, damn, like, is she crazy? Is she weird? Like, you know what I mean? Like you think these things like, what the hell? Like, okay, she looked good. Like, why is she on this site? So am I wrong for thinking that, or am I crazy? But this is just what I've come to believe. I don't know. It's like a weird thing that I've done to myself. And I hate the fact that I'm on dating sites because I feel like, why in the hell do I need to be here? I feel I don't really need to be here.
I'm just here so I won't get
I'm
fined.
just here so I won't get fined. And a lot of times, like, I just don't. I don't even be looking to like necessarily match with anybody. I just like looking at attractive people. Like I'm just being honest. I just like looking at attractive people, and I'm just swiping. Like I'm not. I'm not
There you go.
engaging.
That's honest.
I'm not engaging. I'm not trying to like. I don't know. So what is your experience with dating sites, and are you on a dating site?
Okay, so since you asked,
In which dating site are you? Know, listen, I'm not going. We're not going to take it too deep. We're not going to take it too
oh my
deep.
goodness.
Which dating site are you
Um,
on?
so I do have experience with a particular dating site, and I'm probably on the worst one that is I discovered after the fact that this dating site, which is Tinder, is often associated with like casual sex. So that's what I found out after being on Tinder, right? You're like deactivate, deactivate, deactivate.
I got water too. I'm gonna drink my water because you making me double fisted. I'm gonna take a few shots. I'm drinking water and tea. She did not just say you on Tinder.
I was yeah, that's what
Tinder.
I was. But look, let me share my experiences. So I did have a Cinderella story experience, right? So back in 2018, I went on there. I had graduated college, newly single, went on Tinder. A few months later, I the very first person that I met on Tinder, we hit it off. The first person that I met in person, we hit it off. And we were in a relationship together for a year and so whatever.
Okay.
And yeah, that was honestly like that was a great experience. Like no regrets there.
Okay.
And it was like a needle in a haystack. Like who goes out on one date on a dating app and like forms a relationship and
Right. Right.
like a relationship that like honestly like poured into me and you know, yeah.
God had
Like
his
how
hand on.
does the
God had his hand on that one. We're gonna go ahead and give
okay,
God a
that's
shout out. God had his
yes,
hand in on that one. That don't happen very often, right? They
exactly.
don't happen very, especially for women, because like when you scrolling through as a guy, like on a lot of these sites, you'll see there's a lot of attractive women. Like there's a ton, there's a lot. But from from female friends and and women that I work with in the past, like they would talk about guy profiles, and there are some weird dudes out there. I'm sorry, like I'm really sorry,
Absolutely.
but I've heard stories about like dudes profiles on there. So my hat is tipped to y'all because y'all don't have the same experience for us, because it's obviously more women than it is men,
Hmm.
probably in the dating space. But yeah, a lot of dudes are weird. I'm sorry. Like I'm really
Oh
sorry.
my
Like a
gosh.
lot of dudes are weird. So so of these dating sites, um, what's one of the weirdest things that a guy has ever said to you as a one liner or a pickup line?
A one liner. I can't think of a one liner, but I can tell you going back to the dating site after that particular relationship, I can give you a weird date. If you got a second, I can
Give me a weird date. What was a weird date? Tell me about this date.
well, let me okay, so this is what happened. So this was me. I kind of went against my intuition with this a little bit. So I typically um what do they call that phase when you're speaking to them? The when you're just talking.
Just
It's
conversation. Yeah, just I don't know the proper term, but it's just talking. Like, right?
yeah,
I
so
don't
but
know
it's
the exact dating
vetting,
term.
vetting, vetting, vetting.
Vetting is vetting. Okay, vetting.
So vetting them through conversation. So
Okay.
typically my vetting point on dating sites, I don't remember how long it was, but this particular person, it was a quick vetting period. And then I was like, sure, I'll go to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, so on his dating profile, it said that he was 28 years old,
Mm-hmm.
just fine. I get to dinner, sit across from him, and somehow we got on the subject of age. And he's like, oh, by the way, I'm actually 35, which would have been fine. However, you deceived me for whatever reason.
Right.
So back to red flags. Deception is a huge, that's actually a deal,
Right.
that's a deal breaker. That's not a
Right.
red flag.
But I mean, as a guy to lie about your age though, that's like, bro, like
It's crazy. So he had some lame excuse, and it was like when women would see my age, they would automatically assume I am like a sugar daddy, because I'm like, that is the
I don't
stupidest thing
yeah,
I've ever
35.
heard of.
Yeah, 35 don't qualify for sure. That's not sugar daddy age.
It was
Damn, if
complete.
35 is considered sugar daddy age, then you ain't getting it. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, you ain't getting no sugar out this daddy. This daddy don't eat that much sugar, so you ain't getting no sugar out this daddy right here.
Oh my
Maybe,
goodness.
maybe I don't know. Maybe he was
He was being deceitful, period.
it was very deceitful.
So for whatever reason, like
But I
I
just
probably had my max age on like 40,
okay,
but now you are like, he could have sat across from someone who would have been uncomfortable with sitting across from a 30, right? So you didn't know how I was going to feel. I could have felt uncomfortable.
right,
Now you're putting me in a uncomfortable situation. I mean, I did feel uncomfortable because you're lying. For what reason? I'm not sure.
right.
But yeah, that was the weirdest experience.
So let me say this then. Let me say this. Just I'm playing devil's advocate right here. And listen, he
Mhm.
was wrong, and shouldn't have deceived. But the fact that he fessed up to it
On the
at
first
dinner,
date.
right on the first date. So it wasn't like you guys were going to meet the parents, and he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm 35." Which would have been like some crazy stuff. But he fessed up to it, right?
Mhm.
And what if he was just not embarrassed, but just kind of like, like kind of afraid in a sense, like not ashamed in a way, like not that he should have been, like, bro, like you 35, it is what it is. And
Mhm.
I'm coming to grips with that, like, bro, you just getting older, like it is what it is.
Mhm.
But maybe he just was kind of like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like,
So,
would I have done it? No, like,
mhm.
hell no. But maybe he just was insecure about his age.
Yeah, so I am an extremely graceful person, sometimes to a fault. So, I let him know how I felt, and he, I'm very interested in you. I would like to, whatever, whatever. So I went on a second date,
Okay.
and yeah, so I did go on a second
So you
date.
went on a second date?
I
Was
did.
there was there any other like uncovering? Did he reveal anything else that he lied about? Like he had a like peg leg, or like he wears a
Yeah,
toupee?
so there was just, so from the first date, there was I just was seeing other red flags. So the second date was the last date.
Okay.
And so what happened was, on the boundaries thing, wasn't really respecting my boundaries. Like, wanted, after the second date, was kind of like a, less like, we shouldn't be cuddling type of, like,
Right.
just
Right.
wasn't on my type of time. But
Right.
also on date one and date two, um he had like some aggravation with like the waitress, and it was kind of shown in like an angry manner. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
Mm-hmm.
like, you're what, like, you're supposed to be on your best behavior, like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so there was a few things. And then, like, just expecting, like, was saying that I was moving slow after date two. I'm like, where we supposed to be at on date two? Like, it like really kind of
So my man came in with banners.
no,
He
yes,
didn't
I was
have
just
flags. He
waiting
had
them.
he had
I'm
banners.
like, so I asked him, I'm like, so
Yo,
where are you typically on date two? Like, what does that look like for you? Like,
moving in.
okay, exactly. Like,
Moving in on
no,
day
that's
two.
not, this is not that. I'm so sorry that, somewhere along the lines it got miscommunicated, but you can see your way out
That's
at this
that's
point.
funny as hell. You know what? That's a huge red flag for me too. Is how you treat people. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like just how you treat people or how you talk to people, especially people who are in like a restaurant is probably like, or going out in public is like the best place, especially if you're getting waited on or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, you can find out a lot about a person by how they're treating somebody who's serving them.
Right.
They're impatient, if they're snippy, if they're snooty, if they're you know what I mean? If they're just like, I'm a guy that's like, if we're going out to dinner, something wrong with my meal, I'm not going, nothing in here is worth me blowing a gasket over. You know what I'm saying? There's
Right.
nothing in here unless you getting irate and you talking crazy to me or my date or the folk I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different thing. But there's
Right.
nothing in this restaurant that's gonna make me lose my damn cool. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing in here
Right.
that can make me act a fool. But so for the most part, I'm like a guy that's just really chill. Like if something messed up, or even my food's cold, or if there's something in my food, like I'm just gonna tell you straight up, like, yo, there's something in my food. Like,
Mm-hmm.
can I get a remake? You know, I'm cool. Like I'm not about to trip, but you can tell a lot about a person by how they're treating the people who are serving them. Like you can
Right.
tell a whole lot. Like, and that's normally a thing for me is if they're really like, this place is, or they're automatically trying to get free food off of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
you giving the restaurant or the person, the waitress or waiter, the chance to make it right. And if you're already
Exactly.
jumping down their throat, like it says a lot. So that's a huge like indicator, like for
Right.
sure, like for
Mm-hmm.
sure. So since we're talking about meals and restaurants, and this seems to be like the topic of 2021. I don't know why it is personally, because I'm just a straight shooter, old school kind of straight shooter. This this argument of who should pay for the meal on the first date, or,
Mm-hmm.
what is your? I know we probably have similar minds on this situation, but I'm curious to see what you think. Like, what do you think about who should pay for the meal on the first date? Should men pay? Should women pay? Like, what's your philosophy around this whole pay for this meal on the first date thing?
Mm-hmm. So I am, I guess, traditional in the sense that
Right.
I do think the man should pay for the first meal, especially if you ask the woman out.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess it would be different if she asked you, like, hey, you want to go here?
Right.
But if you're like, Saturday, I'm gonna pick you up. Yeah, I expect you to get the tab for that one. Absolutely.
He asked you out. And he like, yeah. So this one's on you, right?
Right, right, right. And I've heard those horror stories. I've heard like, girl, we got there and he was looking at me when the check came. And like
I'm gonna say this. Listen, bro, brothers, listen to me. Listen to me closely. Listen to me closely. It's just food, dog. It's just, it's just food, bro. It's just food. Like, we not talking about a mortgage. We not talking about a car payment. It's just food. Just pay for the damn food. If you out with her and you trying to show her a good time and you trying to impress her and you want to have a good night, just pay for the damn meatloaf or pay for the
just pay
chicken.
for it.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal. Like, are we really are like how do we even, as people and people who are dating in the dating space, like how do we even get to a higher level or a deeper level of dating and intimacy if we're combating over who should pay for the meal? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's kind of like frivolous. I'm like, what? Like,
Right.
we'll never move on to anything greater if this is the argument that men and women are having. And this leads me to my next question, which is, do you think, given everything that's going on, and this could just be the media. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of great relationships out there, but do you think that men and women are in this realm of like some sort of like war? You know what I mean? Like, are men and women at war right now? Like, what is your take on that? Do you think men and women are at war right now?
Um, I that's an interesting question. Um, I mean, I see it. I mean, because I'm hopeful, I'm gonna say no. I
Okay.
hope not. But like you said, there are some little things we need to get over. Like you said, who pays for the first meal,
Hmm.
and understanding that, like, we're talking about submission and this and that. So like sometimes it does feel like we're at war, and like
Right.
we are, like, literally women are from Mars. No, women are from Venus. Like
Right.
sometimes it does
Is that
feel
what
like
it
that.
is?
Yeah, something like that. Men are from Mars, women are from
See,
Venus, something like that.
astrology, zodiac, I
No.
don't know, Pluto, Jupiter. Like I wouldn't even be able to tell you. But yeah,
Yes. So yeah, it does seem like sometimes our the way we think about things is just, we're on opposite ends of the spectrum.
right,
But there are a lot of conversations happening, like this one, which
hmm,
is hopefully like bridging the gap of our understandings. Because
right,
yeah, I
right.
mean, I went back and forth with a male friend on like who pays for the first date, and he really was going back and forth with me. And I'm like, why are you going back and forth? Like, she about to go eat with somebody else. Like,
Bro,
what are
listen,
we
man,
doing?
you ain't.
She was hungry, and
We
like,
talking about
you.
food. Listen, feed her, make her laugh. Be cool. Like just you can get being a very chill person has gotten me very far. I'm gonna just tell you, brothers, that being a very chill person will take you further than what you know. Like it ain't about you ain't gotta force nothing. Just be cool. Is she full? You good? You happy? Is she laughing? Like it ain't. It's really it's really not a whole lot to it. You know what I'm saying? Like
You ain't never lied though.
it's just not it's not as deep as what it may be. And I guess I was just asking that because like I said before, like you just see a lot of people just debating, and it's like
Hmm.
the conversation of bridging the gap of like, yo, like, okay, listen, we are all here to embark on a great relationship with the opposite sex, right? Or same
Hmm.
sex, whatever your sexual preference is. So it's like I just don't I just don't want us to stay stuck in this mindset of like it's you versus us or it's us
Right.
versus you. Let's argue. It's almost like we need to have a kumbaya. Let's come together, hold hands in a circle and say, yo, I'm for you, you for me. Now let's figure this thing out as a whole in a healthy setting. You know what I mean? Like I'm really for people connecting. Like that's my thing. Like I want people to be connected. I want people to really be together on a lot of things. So
Hmm.
especially this dating realm, but there's a lot of like unnecessary just myths out there, like you see, like the dinner thing, and I'm like, why in the hell is this even a damn
Right.
brothers? Like, if you and I don't know, and the generations are changing because I was lucky, I was one of the lucky ones who was able to have my grandfather in my life as at a young age, so I was around masculine men, masculine males, you know what I mean, so there was a lot of like foundational things that were kind of added
Hmm.
there and younger generation, and I'm thinking at my age now and I'm like, okay, a guy at 21, his granddaddy may be 45 or 50, which is not very far from where I am, so the generations are kind of like overlapping and things are
Hmm.
changing. So I guess I'll just say for my younger guys, man, like bro, like pick up the tab and just play it cool, be respectful,
Choose your
and
battles.
choose your battles. And feeding her, bro, is not a battle. If you
Absolutely.
feed her, it leads to other things, my guy. it leads to other it leads to greater things. Like it leads to greater things, like, oh, the date was nice, he made sure I was fed. And is it true that the key to a woman's heart is like through her stomach? They say it's for guys, but is it really for women too? Like making sure she's well fed. Would you agree?
Yeah, for me, absolutely. Absolutely.
feed feed her, bruh. Feed her.
Absolutely.
Definitely feed her. So and I'm glad that we're having this conversation. And the next thing that I'm just thinking about, and I've been thinking about it all week, right?
Hmm.
And you were like the perfect person to bring this to.
Okay.
You're like the perfect person to bring this to. Will Smith and Jada Pickett,
Hmm.
right? they've been in the public eye for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And have you heard what's happened lately, right? About
Yes.
what she has said. What are your thoughts on that situation? Like, what are your thoughts on, you know, not just their relationship, but like how people, their relationship and how people are just damn near too public with what they got going on a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, but mainly their situation. Like, do you think they should walk away? Do you think it's at the end? Like, what do you think their situation is like? Well, I just need to just hear what your thoughts on that situation is.
Okay. So in terms of whether they should walk away and things, um, honestly, I have no idea. I have not been in their relationship for not 1 second.
Right. Facts.
But to your point, there are some things that I think should be kept like private and
Definitely so.
so I mean, I feel like women can kind of talk about some of the topics she mentions if someone doesn't know who it's attached to, but because we feel like we know Will, it's like, oh, you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So in this last particular instance, I didn't read or watch the entire thing. I read parts of an article with her quotes, and they weren't, honestly, the headline was more damaging than what she actually said.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that happens a lot, where it's like
Right.
the headline will be like,
Yeah.
she said Will's sex game is trash. And
Right.
you read what she
Right.
said, and it's like,
Yeah.
she actually didn't say that. She just said that communication in the bedroom is important as your needs change. Like, that's actually what she said,
That's
which
true.
in fact wasn't. She didn't say Will don't lay down or not. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I agree with that. Like, I agree with like the communication aspect of it.
mhm.
But tabloids, man, they be running shit amok, man. Like, they get a hold of something and they twist that shit all up and make it like super dramatic. And once social media gets a hold of it, Twitter and all these other like avenues, because Twitter is its own
Oh
news
my
outlet
God.
in itself. The
Yes.
people are their own news outlet itself. So like, man, I'm seeing all these memes and like people are like, come on, man, you can't be out here doing my guy Will like that. I seen somebody sent her a DM. Like,
Oh
it's
God.
crazy. Listen, they sent her a DM like defending Will, like, yo, you can't keep doing my guy like that. Like, what the hell is your problem? Like, it's crazy. But I just think, you got to kind of be careful, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
what you say in the public, because they gonna take it for what it is. But it still doesn't discredit what she said though. Like, y'all been together for how long?
25 years, I think.
Come on,
Mm-hmm.
man, that's a long time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and you would have, and I think we have a misconception when it comes to celebrities that they have everything worked out, like they're perfect in a lot of ways and they discuss a lot of things, but in reality they like you and I, but with like $80 million. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's like regular people like with $80 million. So it's like, maybe they just didn't, I don't know, like, I don't know, maybe she just didn't, he's not picking up what she's putting down. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he's just not getting it. Like, bro, I need you to be, and from what I took from it was, bro, you ain't you not handling what you need to handle. That's what I got
Mm-hmm.
from it. Now, it's
And
messed
did you
up.
watch the entire thing? Was it a red table, right?
It was a red table. It was. I read the article like you did. So
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to actually watch it, but it's like they're in the media for their love life a little bit more than what I believe they need to be. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Especially when it comes to the sexual aspect. It's enough, y'all already in the public eye as is, but for it to, from the what's the guy's name that she was involved with before, the
August
musician?
Alsina.
Yeah. So that situation, and then you had this, and it's like,
Right.
these two situations kind of go hand in hand, and it's like, whatever freaky stuff you ain't doing, or whatever
He
stuff
did
you're
it or
not
something,
doing.
right? Yeah. Yeah. So we start to,
Yeah, it's
put
like,
the
bro,
two and two
like,
together.
in this led to my next thought. Like, I'm like, man, it's easier. It's easier to tolerate somebody or to be with somebody when you guys, I believe, are well off. If we're extremely financial, able to do whatever we want to do, like go where we want to
Mhm,
go, buy what we want to buy, you know, we'll never run out of money. We're extremely successful. I think that makes it easier for people to get together. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Like when you were celeb, like it's easier for us. Like I'm worth 20 million, you worth 15. Then a lot of stuff we don't even necessarily have to talk about, or we skip over, and we get into a relationship a little bit easier simply
mhm.
because that financial aspect is taken care of, and I can do whatever, you can do whatever. So it makes us, does that make it easier for people to really skip over the bonding phase, the building phase, and the communication phase? Like, what do you think?
No, I don't. I think that those are still important, but to your point, I feel like I'm sure it happens, I'm sure
Yeah,
it
yeah,
happens.
I
Um,
definitely think so.
yeah, I think it happens.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Like that they got to go through that. So being a single woman, and I hate that this is. I don't know why this is like I don't all about dating. I'm so I didn't really want to make it about dating.
No, it's okay. It's
We just having to
actually
talk about it. Like you're a woman, and you hear me run my mouth all the time on the podcast. So it's great to hear a woman's perspective on a lot of these things because I can sometimes get off in my own head, and it's just my own ideas about things. So thank you for allowing me to grill you with all these questions. With all these questions.
absolutely, yeah. And like
I'm
dating and
definitely.
relationships is like one of my favorite topics. So
Mhm. It's
I
everybody's favorite topic because everybody's trying to find love, right? Like, or
Mhm,
everybody wants love, not trying to find love, but everybody wants love. Because as humans, even I can't deny this, even as somebody who loves their own space, who loves to do their own thing. Um, Companionship is something that, even myself, like, hope to have in the future. Um,
mhm,
Being a single woman, like how are you like balancing um maintaining your wholeness in your business, or your focus in your business, and also your single life as well too? How are you staying focused and not allowing those lines to blend? Because sometimes people give up the thing that they want and they want to achieve because they want love, and
mhm,
they go gun-ho for love, and they put this aspect on the back burner. So how do you kind of balance the two?
mhm. That was a very good question.
Partner, fellas, look, I'm giving y'all all the keys to the city here. Nah,
So,
I'm giving y'all the keys, man. Not just to Asante here, but I'm helping you guys. This is good information. She's not allowed to grill me about anything. So we just gonna close that door now. You're not allowed to.
no, stop it,
No,
stop it.
no, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you answer.
I think what is extremely helpful is if not even what is extremely helpful. It is helpful, but for someone like myself and for someone who is goal driven, um, you have to find a partner and like be dating someone who is going to pour into that as well and support you. Whatever, support will look different from different people.
Mhm.
Um, you know, perhaps that person is in that space. So support is like more educational, or it could just be encouraging, like that this is there's this thing you have to do. So someone who finding someone who respects what you're doing and what you're trying to do, and tries to contribute, like
All
that's
right.
very that's important.
Okay.
That's the only way it's going to really balance, because if not, if they don't understand what you're doing, or have no interest in it, or you know don't understand that, like, that's your passion, it's not going to work.
Yeah. That, that
Mhm.
that says a lot, and I feel like I'm growing so much more than I ever thought that I could at one time. And doing, this podcast has become very important to me. Like it becomes very, very important to me. And so like when I think about like the idea of what a suitable partner would be not somebody that that would have to like say, hey, I want to be on your podcast all the time. I want to be able to, but somebody that has a genuine interest, you know what I mean? Like that means a lot, because I've like dated people in the past who've just been like, have shown really no interest in the podcast at all. Not saying that you have to, because it's my thing, but if there's really never any inkling of interest, it's kind of like, okay, well,
that's a red flag.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like, so what I'm doing, not saying that, and I can't speak for them, but it's just like, for me, it's like, even from a distance, like, even if you like, y'all see what you're doing, like, that's dope, like, I was listening and I checked it out, like, I'm gonna give some healthy feedback, because if we're trying to build and we're one, then what I'm doing should be of some interest to you, because I might mess around and say the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? And you, the person that's with me in public, we all in the pictures smiling and kikiing and shit, and people associate us together. So it's probably best that you kind of be in tune to what I'm doing. Because I fuck around and say some shit, and they be like, well, who's this woman? This is this woman. She out here allowing this goofy shit to go on. So like, being aligned for that aspect is very, very important. You know what I mean? Like, being, as a church folk will say, as the Bible says, being equally yoked or unequally yoked plays a part, not in just spirituality, but also in interest as well too. Like, it plays a huge part. It plays definitely a huge part. And so in doing this and being as vocal as I am, like, I find it, so me dating would be a little bit more challenging, because of where my mind is a lot of times. So I'm not thinking about like the normal everyday stuff. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about culture. I'm thinking about people. I'm thinking about how can we advance as a Black people, as a society. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking about all these things. So my mindset is a little bit different. And so what I do, a lot of people may not understand. And that's just the reality. And that's just a sad reality. So I have like extreme respect for somebody that's like a Riza Islam, because when you do what he does on that level, not that it makes it difficult, but at the same time, that just anybody just won't do. Right. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm doing, just anybody just won't do. And it's like that. So I believe like it's about being definitely equally yoked and finding somebody that can align with what it is that you're doing and what it is where you're going. So for me person, I'm just listen, we are being extremely transparent. Like, this ain't just some stuff I'll talk about on my own. I'm talking about it with Asante here because this is our conversation. But to be transparent, for me, it makes me very hesitant when I think about dating. You know what I mean? I can't just throw myself out there. Like, you got to be cautious with who you line yourself up with. And this is kind of a funny thing, and this isn't a shot to anybody or any woman that has taken a vaccine. Like, forgive me. But I believe in my soul that my person isn't vaccinated.
Has not taken it, right?
I'm sorry. It's just like, for me, it says like, you're obviously in tune to what it, and I'm saying everybody's life is different, right? Like, I understand people's profession is different. So I'm not coming for anybody that works in a certain field that they didn't want to risk their job or their livelihood to do it. But for me, it's like, you understand what's going on. Like, you understand the bigger picture, which is they trying to fucking kill us. You know what I'm saying? In so many sense. So it's like, I equate that with like, okay, like, well, damn, if you somebody that is willing to do that, then I automatically would assume, and let me know if I'm tripping, because I could be tripping. I automatically assume like, well, damn, if you were willing to do that, and I'm not judging you, it means that we obviously on two different, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're on two different mindsets when it comes to Black people, government, culture, in those things. So that's just, I don't know, maybe I'm like pushing the envelope, but that's just something that I thought about. Like, yo, like I don't think my lady is vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's just weed yourself out. That hopefully that helps weed a lot of the ladies. Like, we just gonna go ahead and cut the numbers in half. Like, if
Right,
anybody's
right.
ever wondering, if you take it a jabby jab, then you might not be, you know. So what are your thoughts? I'm gonna let you speak because I've spoken enough.
Um, I definitely understand your caution in dating. Anybody who's like, you know, has an elevated mind or is on that journey, just elevating their mind, that spiritual journey, what have you, you have to proceed with caution when, when dating. A lot of some successful people that I know, um, like Riz Islam, um, like for him, I feel like he's probably had to sacrifice dating. Like that was like a sacrifice.
Right.
Like that may have been something that needed to be sacrificed in order for him
Right.
to do his current calling.
Right.
So I find that a lot with successful people. They sacrifice that companionship. Now, it's definitely not for everybody, but to your point, you don't settle and like be with someone who you aren't equally yoked with. So it might be a season of, not having that, right?
Right.
So,
Right. Right. You know what else? Like, when you think about it, you're like, well, damn, like, are people who are on this, path of like, liberation and freedom and fighting for all, like, you like, well, damn, are we in some ways fooling ourselves? Because you hear the stuff like I do hear, you hear and you see um a lot of people doing great things as couples, and you hear about men who became even greater because they aligned themselves with the right woman. So
mhm,
you think about that and you're like, well, damn, like that's true. Because I
mhm,
honestly believe that people are elevated based off of who they connect with. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Based off of the person that they connect with. Either they're going to go higher, or they're going to go stagnant, or they're going to, you know what I'm saying, or they're going to all they
I agree.
tumble. Um,
Mhm,
so I don't know. Like, I'm just like, well, damn, am I because I've completely like really just cut it off in a sense. Like, nah,
mhm,
I just and my life is very, I would say, complicated. Not complicated in the bad sense, but like, I got a lot of dynamics going on, with children,
mhm,
um, you know, business and goals and podcasts
mhm,
and all of these things. And to insert somebody into that crazy world is like,
mhm,
you know what I'm saying? And just co-parenting, like, you don't have kids, right?
mhm,
So I would say, like, when you have kids, and then when you are married and you're no longer married, and you have children, and you move on and they move on, and there's other people involved, and there's like, it can be crazy. um
mhm,
so just finding that balance of making it work, inserting somebody else into that life that's understanding, um to where it's healthy for everyone. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Um, Here's a guy that I find very interesting, but I like what he's done. Is Country Wayne. And the
Okay.
reason why I say Country Wayne, I don't know if you're familiar with Country Wayne, but Country Wayne has a lot of children, right?
Mhm,
And he has several baby mamas. Maybe, I'm not sure what the count is. Maybe 4, 5, maybe. Um, but he has built up this platform, um, to the T of where he's extremely successful, and he's making sure that all of his kids are taken care of, which he, should do. Any parent would want that. But he's also including in the mothers as well too, to make sure that they're well off and they're extremely successful. So I'm not saying that people should just go out and just get to knocking people up and having a bunch of kids, but there's a way to make blended families work
mhm,
in dating as well too. You know what I mean? Because you got a guy that's extremely successful in his online platform with doing comedy, has, a plethora of kids that he cares for them all, but also he's like, I don't I done shelled out money to all I bought, I don't know if he said he bought them all houses or all cars or something like that, but he made sure that everybody's straight. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which
Player, real
I
player.
mean, like a real, I mean, you can see, I mean, and that's not the life that many women or anybody really wants to live. But the fact that he made the decision in his past, and that the fact in the present, he's actually still he's making sure that everybody's cared for properly,
Mm-hmm.
which is you
You
almost
gotta
got to
respect
salute.
that.
You gotta respect that. Like you absolutely have
Mm-hmm.
to respect that. So I don't know. So I'm trying to like fumble my way through it, and I'm not a person who's perfect. So I'm trying to like
Mm-hmm.
fumble my way through it, and I guess figure it out. And I'm also a big person for therapy. Like I think it's
Mm-hmm.
it's healthy for all of us because
Mm-hmm.
life is definitely crazy. So
It's whew, something.
I ain't shot nobody yet. I ain't shot nobody yet. If
But
that's what you're
yeah,
thinking.
in terms of dating, just take your time. And I feel like you're someone who knows what you want and knows what you're looking for in terms of a woman. So just, don't accept anything that's not that. I think that's where we mess up the most. Like in the
Right.
name of just having that companionship, we accept something that
We
we
do.
know is not what we want. And then now we're in this thing and
Yeah.
so if it comes and it doesn't, I'm not going to say looks like, because we know looks are deceiving, but
Mhm.
it doesn't feel right, have the conversation and save yourself some time, save the woman some time, and
For sure.
yeah,
Absolutely. For sure. You hear that, fellas? Save the woman some time.
please.
Say what it is that you want. And
Yes.
and after I did, what episode was that? Was that sexual? I think it was sexual honesty. Like you sent me a message because I
Mm-hmm.
knew you were like, you're gonna listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because we talked about, being honest. It's very tough for people to be honest because we all we all have hearts, right? We all most people, we strive to be nice and not hurt people's feelings and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in dating, man, even in my experience, like it's tough being very honest with the person that you with. Not in the sense of like you not telling what your correct age is or anything like that.
Shots
but
fired.
but in the way of like what it is you desire, what it is you expect, because you don't want to hurt that person's feelings, and y'all trying to be cautious, or it might seem very weird or different. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's normal, and I think it should be normal for people to really over communicate in the beginning. Like make it awkward, make it awkward. Like why not have those conversations? Like, like what's your
Mm-hmm.
credit score? Like shit, my shit fucked up. Like I'm I'm
Right.
trying to I'm trying to build this thing up. Like that's just where I am. You know what I'm saying? And I think the more that both parties are honest, you give the other person the chance to make an informed decision.
Right.
um
I
and men
agree.
men are a little bit more men are a little bit more transparent than what women care to believe. It's just that you,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
no. Yeah.
men we are we can be very complex, but in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of ways we are very simplistic. We are very simple. Like it's not a whole lot to a guy. Like it is not a whole lot to a guy. When they asked Erica Badu a question. They said, Erica, what is it that makes these men go crazy over you? Like, what is it that you do? What spell are you putting on them? What root are you putting on? Are you taking a piece of their hair and mixing it in with chicken blood? Like, what are you doing to drive these dudes crazy? And her answer was, I just listen to them. And I said,
Ooh.
no, I'm
Right.
no, hear me out.
No, 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 no. That was.
No, no. She said, I listen to him because believe it or not, if you a man will tell you all he need everything you need to know.
Mhm.
if you listen. Like, in us as people, because I don't want to do the overgeneralization and say just women do this, because that leads back to the argument, is that we're automatically thinking what we want to say before that person is done expressing themselves a lot of times, right? Instead of really tuning in and really listening. But when she said that, like, yo, I just listened to him. Like, men are very simple. Like, we'll tell you everything that you could ever want to know if we feel like you listening to us. Like, that's the truth. If we feel like you listening to us, like intently listening to us, and that's not saying that you've already prejudged, you've already made your assumptions, you've already took it to where you wanted to take it to, but that you've intently listened and you've allowed us to express ourselves in a way. It's because we carry a lot of tension, like, believe it or not, because we are not encouraged growing up to express ourselves. So we already are like, we're going to keep it to ourselves. We're going to chop it up with our boy. But a lot of times, I mean, there's some things that you talk to your boy about that you don't talk to your wife about, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But like, there's some stuff that, like, no man wants to sit around and talk to a bunch of dudes about everything that they're thinking all the time. Ain't nobody trying to talk to a bunch of hard legs all the time. But having a woman that, like, really, like, intently listens, you'll find out, like, all that you need to know. And that's just my tip from a guy to women. I need you to give one back for men that will actually help them in their dating endeavors.
Okay, so a tip. First of all, I really like that, and that's true. Like, sometimes a man will say what he needs, and women were just like, no, I think he means this. Like, no, he told you he needed a little bit of space, but you think that translates to, no, he told you, So I do like that tip a lot. And a piece of advice I could give to the fellas. Yours was so, like, graceful. I like it.
I try to watch my words, because I'm not trying to start this war. It's time to end the war. We trying to put up green flags. We want everybody to have, this is green flag zone. We want everybody to have green flags. Shout out to all the people trying to have green flags. We want you to live a prosperous life, holding your green flags high, right? We don't want people to just embark on the regular trend, but I'm going to let you give the tip to all my male listeners to help them, help us help you.
Okay. A tip from the women. Okay, I gotta speak for my women. So
go through the catalog. I know it's a list. I know it's probably a list.
Yes.
I want to give more than one.
A tip, just any type of tip for relational success, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That can further help men.
Okay, that can further help men. Tip. Oh my gosh. Hold up. I'm sorry.
It can be anyone that you could think of. Anything you could think of.
Okay. I would say we kind of already talked about this, but just like the honesty and transparency thing. Like, I feel like I want to drill that into everyone's head, not just men, but women as well. Just being transparent about what it is that you want. Like we said, even if it's awkward, even if you like, what is it? Like, are you looking for a throuple, in fact? Like, you're looking for a polyamorous relationship, right?
Why you said throuple? That's like a keyword. It, like, for whatever reason, it, like, triggers when you say it. It's just an automatic trigger for when you say, polygamy and why the throuple? A throuple is a little harsh. What's a throuple is like a sloppy peanut butter and jelly sandwich with an extra piece of bread on top. Like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna let you finish.
Look, whatever it is, just let that person know. We've said it already, but let people make informed decisions. Let them know who they're dealing with. Come a lot of times in datings, we come with these masks on,
We do.
and over time the mask fades. But
Mhm.
like, just come as you are, right? Like the church
Right.
says, come transparent, letting them know where you are, and like letting them decide. Like, I feel like that's where connections can really be formed, and like
Mhm.
everyone gets to make an informed choice.
Mhm. Do you think that are people really, I mean, are do you think women are really ready for guys to be brutally honest about things? Like, do you think,
Well,
like, do you really think that women are in a position to like really take that kind of honesty? Because I think men are willing to do it, and I kind of get frustrated at men more so than like women with this, for us not being honest about what it is that we want or what it is that we desire. Um,
mhm,
or what it is that we expect. Um, because regardless if we have to go on 50 dates and we piss off 50 dates off because we were just honest about what we want, not just
mhm,
being an asshole, but just like, yeah, like you said, like, I'm into the throuple thing.
mhm,
Like, for you to be like, well, in a respectful way, like, well, it's really not my thing, and for us to like part ways, peacefully. But I'm just not sure if if and I can't speak for women, but I'm just kind of hesitant because I don't think women are necessarily always ready for men to be as transparent as we can possibly be, because men are black and white. We don't have there's not a lot of layers to us as far as like, when it comes to what we want and what our desires are. um
mhm.
but are women really like ready to like hear that stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, for men, like most, not most, that's the wrong word. Some men love natural, right? Like, men
Mhm,
love natural. Like, you don't have to, you don't got to do all of that stuff. And I know women say that I like to be beautified and this is who I am, which is understanding.
mhm,
But if women are setting out to, you know, be free and express themselves and to be as beautiful as they are, and at the same time say that, well, I'm for the women that are saying that I'm trying to attract a male. And if all men are saying like, yo, we like women to be natural, like, we don't really like all the extra, like, you don't really have to do, you don't have to do, the extra hair, the extra eyelashes, like, you don't really have to do all of these things to really garner our attention, because we're going to give you that attention anyway. You know what I
mhm,
mean? um so like, it's just like that thing, like, and you hear men say like, man, like, god damn, like, all this hair, like, all of this. And women always say, well, it's about me, it's about being beautiful, which I get. Like, baby, you got every right to do that, you know what I'm saying? And
mhm.
I'm not knocking you, but are women really ready for men to be like brutally honest like that? You know what I'm saying? Because like, we are really simple. I'm telling you, we are really simple. um like, all of the stuff that you see on TV, like everybody with the bad bodies and all of the, everybody posting up the best pictures and they got their baby hairs laid. You see everybody with baby hairs laid and eyelashes. So, and I see this primarily on Twitter. There are a million women doing the same thing or looking the same exact way, looking
Mhm.
the same exact way. Um, so, and in my mind, like, I'm thinking like, well, okay, like, guys can find that attractive to some degree, but it's not necessarily what all guys are looking for. Like, for the most part, guys really like simple shit. Like, we just
Mhm.
really like simple shit. Like, we want you to be beautiful. We want you to express yourself. We want you to feel um you're like the queen, like a, princess. We want you to be as dolled up as you want to be. But men are very simplistic. Not that you have to do anything for us, but just giving that out. Like, this is, if we renegotiate the terms of what men are looking for, then I feel like the 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 persona of like the bad bitch era, like, I feel like that shit would die off, because men have kind of renegotiated the terms about what it is they looking for. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? With like butt injections and like everybody don't got a big butt, right? Everybody ain't got a huge, massive butt, and not everybody wants a big, huge, massive. But like, just to be realistic, like nobody wants to. Like, when we 60 years old, I got to come in and wipe you because you can't reach all the way around because you got this big ass. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I think men have to find a way to be honest about what it is that they really want in a tasteful way without being hurtful. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the perception of what I think women may think men may want on the outside is not necessarily what men want at all. I mean, I know it gets the attention, but it's not like, to us, it's like, and they say, you've heard the saying like, well, men sleep with anybody. Like men don't have sex with anything. That's kind of like how simple men are. Like we don't give a goddamn if you come in jogging pants or you come in stilettos. It's all the same difference for us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's not really, if you're clean, you smell good, we could do something. Like we don't really. It's so I don't know. What's your take? What do you think? What do you want to say?
So it takes me back to the Kevin Samuels video that you sent. And I am not, you guys, listen, I'm not a Kevin Samuels fan at all.
She's not.
No, not at all. However, that video you sent me, so he's known for being so in this particular video, he was being brutally honest with the woman he was speaking to.
Okay.
So just in thinking about whether women are ready for that, I feel like that's the direction we need to move into. Like if to make this dating thing work for us, for our generation and things, we have to do that. And I think it's going to save us a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just letting them know what it is that we really want. It might hurt, ladies, but I think that's the direction we need to move in, because not being upfront, that's not is not working. Like I've been in situations where I felt like I was blindsided, and it's like, you know, I mean, you took away my choice, like to choose if this is something that I wanted to like partake in.
Exactly. But not, and you know, that's on us. Like we're not always, you know, honest, and we have to. And I've been somebody who hasn't always been necessarily honest about what I wanted or where the relationship was for me, or you know, necessarily what I was feeling at the time. So yeah, so it has to be, you have to meet somewhere in the middle. And that I know, we know that you're not a Kevin Samuels fan, and I understand why. And I think we both kind of agree as to why. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool to have great information and great knowledge, but the delivery and how you talk is everything. Like be brutally honest. Like I can be brutally honest and say like, baby, you got halitosis. Like your breath is really hot. You know, and I'm just telling you this because, you know, so there's a way to tastefully do things without all of the disrespect and, you know, in the name calling and things like that.
I really enjoyed that video, and that
was a great video. That was one of my favorites.
Yes, there was some moments that was it was convicting for me, like going back to what we said, just being like, okay, so for example, I'm trying to recall one of the things that he said. So us women in dating, sometimes we make the mistake of like going with the flow, like going with the man's flow of things, as opposed to kind of thinking for ourselves, you know, like we go with his flow. And like, you know, men, they are the leaders and things, but when you're getting to know a person, you kind of have to kind of make your own like timelines and things. So one of the things the woman said was she had ended up dating 3 people who she later found out was married, right? And Kevin asked, well, did you ask? And she said no. Like, and she didn't ask in the name of like not being awkward, because she assumed that like you're courting me, therefore you're single. Right. Like, no. So now when I go into situations, I ask straight up. I'm like, are you married? Do you have children? Do you have any venereal diseases? Like, these are like my preliminary questions now.
Get them, girl.
Yes,
get them, girl. Yeah.
You can assume. And it was as simple as, no, I didn't ask. That was it. She didn't ask, and they didn't tell, obviously.
Yeah. You kind of feel so. It's in looking at that video, you know, when you think about it, it's like, well, damn, like her perception of what, I guess, you know, you hear the word high value a lot. Her perception of what she wanted a man to be outwardly in life, you know what I mean, can a lot of times, like I said, it could blur the lines for people, you know what I mean? So maybe it's like, well, let me assume on that stuff. But as long as your pocket's straight, you look goal oriented, you got a house, you know, you got some things to your name, makes me overlook everything that's right. Really important.
Yes, and we spoke about that. It makes you skip those other things. Like it having those outward worldly possessions, it'll make you kind of like, let's fast forward to like, here, okay, so we here with it, and and this world is crazy. You cannot assume anything. Like, you need to go in there, ask your questions, no matter how awkward it gets, but in the name of protecting yourself, you got to ask those things.
You definitely got to ask those things. Please ask her, brother. Ma'am, sisters, please ask these women everything that you need to ask them. And hopefully, I don't know, I want better for people. Like, I definitely want better for people. I'm tired of seeing the arguments, you know. You know, it's just, we can debate forever. And for the sake of clickbait, I mean, I guess some people, that's just where they are, and that's what they like to do. For the people who are really trying to grow and understand and to, you know, be better, that's a whole different aspect. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you having this conversation. You are a jewel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being on, man. This is a Lunchline podcast, man, and I want y'all to go ahead and drop your socials for your business account, for your fashion line, fashion brand.
Oh, okay. So it is at The Fashion Enthusiast Co. on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Bang, 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 bang. Y'all hear that? I want y'all to go look at her stuff, buy some stuff, get some tips, support Black business owners, you cheap bastards. Support Black business owners. Stop lining up outside of this damn Gucci store, 80 and 90 deep for a damn t-shirt and flip-flops is going to cost you $700. So make sure y'all go support her. And fellas, I've given you all the tips. I'm not telling you to slide into her DMs, but when you are ready to slide into a DM of a young lady, a particular young lady, hopefully some of the game that was given here today from her can help you. These pointers, these tips. I appreciate the conversation. Free game. Like, we gonna book this up and charge this, man. Yo, this is a Lunchline podcast, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. And we gonna do this next time. Take care. Peace.